Hello everybody and welcome back, as today we're gonna celebrate the release of the new JBL Xtreme 5.
Just got a JBL Xtreme 5 and everybody else just got one too. I'm like one of you, you are like one of me, and we are all the same. We are all the play. Music is a way to express ourselves, so we have the same taste in speakers. You know, we are both music nerds. We like funk and electronics, so we have the same speaker. The
JBL Xtreme 5, JBL Xtreme 5, JBL Xtreme 5.
And they just made the Xtreme 5. JBL Xtreme 5. JBL Xtreme 5.
Come on.
JBL Xtreme 5. And they just made the Xtreme 5. The JBL Xtreme 5. The JBL Xtreme 2. The JBL Xtreme 3. The JBL Xtreme 4. The JBL Xtreme 5. It is the best one. Everybody knows. If you know, you know. So I guess you don't know if you don't have the JBL Xtreme 5.
JBL Xtreme 5, JBL Xtreme 5. So yeah, after more than 11 years, JBL finally released the new JBL Xtreme 5 since the first one was released, and you can see the size increased quite a bit. Also, lighting is new here, and compared to the JBL Charge 6, which is not a small speaker either, yeah, it's pretty huge. So it would be of course interesting how these two compare, as we compared the Xtreme 4 with the JBL Charge 6. So the difference was not that big. So I'm really curious how these two will fare. Let me switch over to the Xtreme 5 again and let's try this track. Both are playing with the default settings. Here with default settings, both do not sound that great, but thank goodness JBL offers us some user EQ. So I will switch to my custom EQ that I created, and we will do the same for the Charge 6. Switch over first. So this is default and user EQ. You can hear not only the size increased, but also the sound increased compared to the JBL Xtreme 4, which I don't own anymore. But the Xtreme 4 was not that different to the Charge 6, so here the difference is really obvious. But as the size increased, also weight is higher now. I thought it would be interesting to try it against the Tribit Stormbox Blast, which is already quite a classic. I compared it back then against the Boombox 2, I think. So let's see if the Xtreme can compete now. And I will wait until it connects. It's some time. So here it is. And let's try this track again, starting with the JBL playing first. Already playing with X bass without.
Little laugh drifting on the air. The Xtreme 5 has arrived, and I just said, life is easy peasy when I let it be. Everything's nicely like a quiet.
So you can really hear, especially with user EQ, it sounds well. bigger, more extreme, this is default. And my user EQ. So it has deeper bass, a nicer sound than the Tribit. This sounds a little bit boxy, I would say. So really a huge improvement over the old Xtreme 4. Let's try this track here. And listen to the bass. So it reaches down below 40 Hz now. Has a more kicking bass, but doesn't reach as deep. So really impressive. Finally, it deserves its name, Xtreme. Let's try this track here. Also like to show you the other EQs. So JBL signature sounds a bit boring, I would say. Chill is unusable. I think energetic is slightly better. Vocal also horrible. So let me switch back to signature and custom EQ. So this gives some extra kick. Of course you can reduce bass to make it sound a bit more neutral. And you can also increase bass to even more extreme amount, but I would say that like this is a nice amount of bass. So yeah, just in terms of sound, it can't quite compete. It has to be seen if the JBL can compete also loudness-wise, so we will try this maybe in an upcoming video. But this sounds definitely quite a bit more sophisticated, and what we'll also notice is that the sound dispersion is really great now from the JBL, so off-axis listening results in a pretty nice sound, while the Tribit loses its treble. So here JBL improved a lot. Maybe remember the Boombox 2 had horrible dispersion off-axis and an arcade. And although we use X-Bass, it simply doesn't have the same bass power as the JBL. This sounds way more refined, way more hi-fi. But yeah, with default settings, I think it doesn't do the speaker justice. Not bad, but I think it can be even made to sound slightly better. Let's try this track. Listen to the bass here. The whole table vibrates, it's not the speaker, the Tribit. Already distorts slightly, I would say. really impressive. And another contender I prepared here is the Soundcore Boom tool. Some of you maybe remember when my YouTube channel was still alive, I compared it against the JBL Xtreme 4, and the Boom 2 completely wiped the floor with it. So let's try these two now. The Soundcore is playing with its default settings now. So let me switch over again and let's try this track, again starting with the Xtreme 5 playing first. Yeah. This is the Soundcore 2 now, Soundcore Boom 2. So this is quite a difference, as you can hear. Let's see if we can improve something with the music here as well here, as I don't think the default settings sound that great. So with this custom cue it's definitely slightly better. The bass amount is comparable, it just doesn't reach as deep as the JBL. And let's try this track here. So you can hear it's trying hard. But yeah, with default settings also sucks quite a bit. Without bass up, it cannot achieve the same amount of bass, so you need to turn bass up on. But of course, for normal listening, it's not that suitable. For outdoors, I think it's nice. So the JBL, not as boomy, but simply with a nicer, more defined bass, and yeah, the dispersion is also far better. So listening completely all faces. Also the Soundcore Boom 2 loses treble quite a lot. So JBL did a really great job. I'm quite impressed with the performance, while the Xtreme 4, Xtreme 3, Xtreme 2 were rather underwhelming. This is really kicking. Let's try this track here.
Eu nunca tive dúvida de que a vida é bela. Viva a vida, viva a vida. E já dizia Neruda.
You compare the price and also the size. The Boom 2 is quite a bit smaller. It doesn't perform that badly actually.
Viva a vida.
But you can hear.
Comemora que você está viva.
Loses treble immediately.
E já dizia
on the track. So not a bad performer. And yeah, it's 1/4 the price, but cannot compete, of course, in overall performance. It's another league. Let's try this here. I will place them straight, and let's also turn up volume a bit to hear which one plays louder. I'm really curious. But the Xtreme 5 so far really quite an amazing performer. So this is the Boom 2. Performs really nicely. The Xtreme 5. You can hear it keeps this power. But this starts sounding a little boxy, losing bass, and you know, let me increase volume even more. This is the maximum for the Soundcore, the JBL. Whoa! Holy shit! This has no chance anymore. So while the Boom 2 completely wiped the floor with the Xtreme 4, it sounds a little bit toyish now against the Xtreme 5, but you can see the size really increased, so it's more comparable to a earphone X now, although yeah, it has to be seen how this sounds at maximum volume also compared against the Tribit. So as soon as the weather allows it, I will try to go out, shoot a video of these two, maybe including the Boom 2. It doesn't make sense to compare it against the old JBL Xtreme 4, as already the Boom 2 was better. So here the Xtreme 5 completely wipes the floor with the Boom 2. Also with the lava and everything, so it's way louder, has this deep bass, punchy bass, really amazing what JBL achieved here, and therefore it definitely deserves our Joy&Oluv'Sone award as best portable speaker for 2026, along with the Xiaomi, which is in a smaller class but also a great one. So here finally one of the really amazing releases from JBL, just like the Boombox 4, which unfortunately distorted a little bit. This plays completely clean. But like the Boombox 4, the Xtreme 5 now really an amazing speaker, a class leader, I would say. I highly doubt that you will find something much better currently on the market. Of course, it has its price, so $350. But if you don't mind the larger size, if you don't mind the price, this is definitely the speaker to go for indoor listening, for outdoor listening. I think you can hardly get anything better in this size and class. So I hope this video was helpful. For a more detailed review, also comparing it against the X, check our Patreon or the membership of our channel. I will try to go out. I already shot an outdoor video against the X and the Boom 2, so I will maybe also try a public video. But if you're interested, if you're eagerly waiting, if it's any better, it's definitely a class leader currently, and I think it deserves our award. So thanks a lot for watching, see you next time, and bye bye.